Hello, I'm Marie Pilachowski, and this is the 60 on 95, the latest Israel news for teen advocates. Iran, in our first story, we'll look at a speech from Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, who said that construction will soon start on a second nuclear plant in the country's southwest Bushehr province. While this doesn't violate the deal recently reached in Geneva, any nuclear advancement by Iran brings worry, as it gets Iran increasingly closer to a nuclear weapon. President Obama and Bibi Netanyahu start off our second story. It's a frustrating one and demonstrates the growing separation between President Obama and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Unnamed Israeli sources denounced President Obama for presiding over failed negotiations with Iran, which, they said, the sanctions pressure on Tehran is collapsing, and Iran has been granted the right to enrich uranium. The entire wall of sanctions, painstakingly constructed over years, is already crumbling and will collapse within months. In its speech to Rome's Jews, Netanyahu warned that sanctions pressure is collapsing, easing Tehran's path to the bomb. While the London newspaper The Sunday Times reported that the Prime Minister ordered the Mossad to find proof of Iran's duplicity, all in a bid to undermine President Obama's strategy on Iran. While at the same time in Washington, an unnamed White House staffer reportedly said that Prime Minister Netanyahu was losing support in Washington over his attempts to sway Congress, calling Netanyahu's response to the Iran deal weak and desperate. Meanwhile, talks on technical aspects of the Geneva deal with Iran are to resume this week. The news of further talks underlines the fact that the nuclear deal with Iran is not yet finished, and a 6-month countdown to a permanent deal hasn't started, and that Iran isn't bound by any new terms. Our third story is a positive one, and shows that different world leaders' support of Israel. Today, Prime Minister Netanyahu meets with the Pope in the Vatican. In their first sit-down, the Pope and Bibi were expected to discuss peace talks, Iran, and a visit by the Pope to Jerusalem this coming year. Last night, Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper vowed that Israel will always be able to count on his country for support, as he announced plans to visit Israel at the beginning of next year. World leaders' support of Israel is always a good thing, and it's something that we look forward to hearing more about. This is today's 60 on the 95, the latest news for teen Israel advocates. We hope you'll tune in next time. Have a great day, and let's look forward to peace in Israel. Shalom.